What's happening, guys? It's spring. It's the first day, but it's kind of chilly out. Like, where's the sun? Okay, I'm gonna wait until it starts brewing a little bit. I'm inside my car. I was at the beach. I was doing a shoot, and so it's a little chilly out there, and it's a little breezy. So, oh, what's up, Christina? Oh, Trev, what's up? Wave, wave, wave. Sir AJ, how you doing, sir? Okay, so as people are starting to join in, my purpose of this live is I've been getting a lot of questions in terms of nutrition, especially with the Fit Challenge going on, and mostly I get questions on carbs, carbohydrates, timing of food, and what people should be eating when they feel so hungry and when they have those withdrawals when you're starting to eat healthier. So, what up, Kiana? I'm going to say wave back. So, I'm going to try to do my best to answer those questions, a lot of those questions, in a short period of time. But, wait, who's that? JM Gal? I'm going to wave back. What's up? So, one of the questions was, if I need all the nutrients in my diet, shouldn't I have all protein, carbs, and fat? And I'm going to do some clarification when it comes to carbohydrates, because I think there's a lot out there and it can get confusing for everyone. So the main thing I want you to think of, carbohydrates, they're actually not essential to our body. And you're going to be like, what? But I love carbs. Exactly. We live in this society of just high addictive sugar and carbohydrates where we don't know what to do without them, right? It's always that propaganda of just sugar, food, and cereal and this. And don't get me wrong, I love carbs because I have been exposed to them, especially as an athlete, but you don't necessarily need them. So I'm going to talk about a few categories, and I'm not going to go as in depth as I did for the nutrition seminar that we had for our Fit Challenges because it's a lot of information, but I'm going to try to simplify it as much as I can for those that need to know what carbohydrates are. So literally are carbon molecules with water. So carbs could be a great thing, but could also be very, very bad for you. So I don't want you to think of carbohydrates as this devil thing. Oh, hi, Kathy. Hi, Kathy. I'm going to wave back. It's not a devil. It's not a bad thing. You just have to know your priority and your purpose. So the first thing you should ask yourself, what is the purpose of you eating a certain way? What is the priority? So if we're thinking performance, right? If we're thinking sports performance, if you are thinking, I need to perform better in X sport, right? Either CrossFit, weightlifting, martial arts, golf, swimming, dancing, all that kind of stuff, with something very specific. You need to know the demands of those sports, the demands of your sport. Now, carbohydrates are going to play a huge role in terms of performance because you're going to have to fuel up if your demands of your sport are really high, right? Now, let's say you're a golfer. If you're a golfer and you have a long, 18 holes and you have to stay sharp and your mind has to be sharp, carbs during a golfing match per se, you're not going to be eating a lot of carbs because you're going to be spiking your insulin up and down, up and down, up and down. You have to be steady hands, steady mind, focus, no fogginess. Now, if that same golfer has the demands of strength training, weight training, maybe does some self-defense, maybe does some CrossFit to improve his sport, maybe during those times that you are or he is doing his golf sessions on top of the weight training, maybe he will have some carbs after those training sessions, but not necessarily during his golfing days, right? Maybe during his golfing, he's going to have more high protein and fat to level his insulin spike. So, what up, James Jen, baby? Hi, guys. So, I want you to know that carbs play a huge role in terms of performance because you do have to fuel up. If you think of CrossFit Games, those guys are training all the time, 3 times a day. Their volume is high. Their expenditure and the demands are super high. So you can't compare yourself to those people, because then that's when body fat starts going up, right? What up, Esme? Hola, Katrina. I want to wave at them. So that's what I want you to think about. Now, the essential part of carbs are not necessary if you are just trying to do aesthetics. So if your goal, if your priority is aesthetics, you want to look good, you want to have a low body fat composition, you don't need carbs. Carbs are only for those that the demands are high. If you're a regular Joe that works out 3 to 4 times and maybe goes on a run here, has a Sunday fun day, why would you put carbs in your body that you're not meeting those demands? And that's when the body fat starts rising up, right? It looks like I have a no neck, but I have a neck, guys. So, Sassy. What? Who that? Oh, who that? Ew, I see who you are. What's up? Okay, Sassy Pants. Just kidding. Shashila. Okay, focus. When you're looking into aesthetics, low body fat, low demands in performance, you don't need a lot of carbs. You're gonna need maybe 10% of carbs just to keep your brain fueled up a little bit here and there. Now, this could go into very high, deep discussion, but you pretty much want to live your life with protein and high fat and a little bit of carbs, less than 30 grams per day. That's literally like this little piece of banana for a day. And if you really put in a scale of how much carbs are consumed by everyday life, it's just literally think of like, okay, a banana's about 60 grams, right? So if you're eating about 600 grams of carbs, let's say 400 grams of carbs, you're eating a tons of carbs and you're not spending those carbs. So that's the simplest way to put it, right? You're not earning your carbs, but in reality, you also are spiking your insulin. You also are doing things to your body that are not necessary when you're not demanding those things from your body. You're not stressing your body enough in terms of, what's up, Ada? Wave. Shenanigans. Hi, Annie. You're not stressing your body enough to promote that stimulus where you're going to need to recover with glycogen, with sugars, with carbs. So, again, essentials, carbs are not essential. Protein and fats, yes. Amino acids, right? You need to build those. So the question is there. Another question that I got was, if I'm looking to lower my body fat, what do I need to do? And you know what? It's just not a plan that here you go, follow this and you'll be super successful. It's a very individual plan, but you could do certain things to get you there. Like the Fit Challenge, right? Those 30 days of reset, dropping those carbs and upping your protein and upping your activity level, upping your consumption of fat and protein are going to help you reset, right? Are going to help you level out those insulin spikes. And so, again, if you're not one of those very high active, high intensity, like high interval training or really heavy weight training or weightlifting and this and this and this and that. If you're just an average Joe doing activities that are minimal and they're not as demanding, you really don't need a lot of carbs. Now, I have some marathoners and runners that don't even need a lot of carbs because their body fat percentage is still a little bit high. So let's put it this way. If you're kind of skinny fat, right? You're like in between. You're not really, really, really big, but you're not super small, but you have that little bit of excess. So a little bit of the higher body fat, but you're a little bit still skinny fat. You're still not going to want those carbs. Even if you're trying to gain muscle, just because you have to balance out the ratio between body fat percentage and the carbs that you're using. So if you're trying to tighten up, you still don't need those carbs. You still will have to play a little bit more with that protein. Now, there's no templates out there. Everyone's going to be different, and everyone's going to react different to those macronutrients. But the main thing I wanted to talk about for those people that ask me that all the time, hey, how do I lose my panza? How do I lose my gut? And that's nutrition. That is food, and that's activity level, and you're going to lose the last thing you first gained. So if you first gain there, that's the last place you're going to lose. And remember, it's not a spot reduction thing. It's like, I want to lose my cheeks. It doesn't just go, hey, I'm losing weight. It's going to go right here. No, it's a full body reduction per se. Okay, so I have more questions, but if you're tuning in, what's up, Brian? David! If you're tuning in, send some questions, because those that are actually watching, I would like to answer right away. And then I also have a list of questions that I would like to address. Shoot it my way. Anytime. Hi guys. Did I miss any questions? Oh, I did, huh? Sorry. What kind of fats are good? AJ. Okay. There's tons of good fat, and that's another micronutrient that most people think of, like if you eat bacon per se, it's like the worst for you. No. Yes, good fats would be avocado, nuts and seeds, and olive oil and avocado oil and ghee butter. So those are good fats, but also certain things in your meats are good fats. You just can't discard that. The best fats would be your triglycerides, your medium chain triglycerides, which comes from a very, very good source of coconut oil, right? Your MCT oils. What else? That also comes from breast milk, but obviously we're not doing that. But yeah, so think of fats that are in the meat that are clean: avocado, nuts, seeds. Avocado oil is actually the best one to cook with, and that's because it has a higher, you could cook at higher temperatures and it doesn't break down into trans fats. So thoughts on RP diet templates. Oh man, this could get deep. They're templates for a reason. Yes, you could pick and choose certain things. I think those could be good, but it's going to be depending on the quality of food that you are eating, right? If they prescribe you with certain things like 300 grams of carbs, but you're trying to lose body fat, again, those 300 grams of carbs, you could get them in breads and cereals and sugars, or you could get them in vegetables and better quality food. Now, again, anything works as long as you follow it, but the RP template, you just have to be patient, because it is not something like this. You have to have your foundation, you have to do your cut, and you have to, you have to stick to it, and you have to plan ahead in terms of what you're going to be having of food, because you're not having enough food, then now your body's going into starvation mode and is going to gain more than you're going to cut. So that's what I think about that. What's up, Eddie, Vanessa, Nikki, Nelson. Oh, hi, Sarah. What else? Hold on. I don't want to miss anyone. I know sodium is good for some water retention, but what's the negative effect of too much sodium? High blood pressure in terms of too much sodium, obviously. Let's say you're a salty sweater, then you are going to need more sodium in your diet. But if you are really not sweating throughout the day and you're really not being as active, your sodium should be very, very low. Unless your demands of activity are high. The negative effect of too much sodium could be also, you can't process, your liver and your kidneys are they're not going to be filtering all that, and the water retention is one thing in terms of weight, but it's not necessarily just for weight. It's too much of something is not good, right? And with sodium, hypertension, you have to be careful with that, especially if you have genes, DNA coming from family members and stuff like that. Again, if you're not high active, you don't need a lot of sodium. Hopefully that's answering your question. Brian, Beastly, el guapo. Traduction. No puedo traducir, veré, va a ser mucha información. Que te diga Esme, pero luego yo te digo. A ver, ¿qué más? Who do you think will win the CrossFit Games this year, men and women? Oh my God, how did I know someone was gonna ask that? Case! See you soon, AJ! Thanks for tuning in. Okay, good. What do you think? You know, my girl Sam Briggs. Woo woo. Just trying to get my bicep like her, but it's just not growing. Now, you know, I think Matt Fraser might repeat for sure. Women, there's a lot of girls coming up that are doing a great job, and I think Tia Claire would be able to repeat, but I don't know. I'm going for Sam Briggs, but I think she's Masters now, so what are you going to do? Who do you think is going to win? Rich Froning? No, guys. Rich Froning's retired. Team. Yo, boy Fisk! Do you play Fat Princess? Will that curve my cravings? ¿Qué? That curb. What do you mean, Fat Princess? Will that cure or curb? Yeah, he is. And you know he's killing it. Kaislyn, Ada, can you guys ask me what that means? Why are you guys laughing? I don't know what that means. I'm gonna look it up. Gem baby. She's cracking up. Fat Princess? What is that? Like you're princess and you're a little big? I don't know what that means. Anyways, let me go through my questions since you guys are not asking the right questions. Just kidding. Okay, so let me see. The other question that I had is how much protein should I have? Well, for those that were in the Fit Challenge, I sent out the PDF on how much protein you should have. But it's not a cookie cutter, right? Where it's like you should have this much for this much. No, it's all gonna depend on your weight, on your goals and things like that. But usually, if you're trying to keep muscle, gain muscle, and lean muscle, right, with the low body fat, you want to keep your 1.5, 1.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. Okay, so times that. Maybe a little bit more. It depends what you do. Plus the amino acids and all that kind of stuff. I'm researching Fat Princess. Jen is asking me if gum's okay. What do you think? Oh my God, I love gum. Like literally, I could just. Well, gum is obviously addicting. Honestly, if that's the only craving, gum is fine. Just know as you start chewing something, everything, the fluids in your stomach start to kind of work like you're about to be breaking down whatever you're eating. So you're kind of playing a game to your stomach. But don't get me wrong, I chew gum all the time. I've cut it out to where, okay, I'm going to do no gum for a month and see how it feels. I don't see a big change. Just make sure there's no crap in it, because there's a lot of crap in everything. So hi, Miss Shab. What's up, Cheryl? Okay, you're gonna tell me what Fat Princess is? No? Okay. Alright, so how much protein was that? And no, gum's fine. I just don't have gum that has a lot of crap in it, honestly. It's live a little. Gum's fine. I love chewing gum. I like to do bubbles. The next question that I saw here and that I have on my notes is got it. I cut out all carbs. I'm only doing protein and high fat. No, hubba. I'm cutting out carbs. I'm just adding protein and fat, but I feel lethargic. Okay, your first 2 weeks, guys, of just doing protein and fat with minimal carbs are gonna be tough, right? Because you are literally getting the crack out. So you are gonna have withdrawals. You are gonna have all those feelings. You might be having even like cold sweats. Don't get me wrong, you will. But you have to reassess after those, 12 days, 14 days of really low carbs. You're resetting your body. You're gonna feel so much better, and you're gonna start producing the energy within other macronutrients. And that's a whole different discussion, but just trust the fact that your body's gonna go from, hey, I need the crack for fuel, to, oh, I could get into these fat deposits for fuel and start burning those. Especially if you're drinking coffee. I had put the blog out there where it's a great blog because you do burn fat while you're drinking coffee. So if you do have those, those high proteins, high fat, plus your little coffee here and there, you are going to go into those fat deposits, and you will start seeing the change in your body fat percentage, your body fat composition going down. So trust it. Please give me examples of good carbs. Again, carbs are not essential unless you have a high demand of performance. But good carbs could be, there's a lot of different good carbs, right? There's complex and there's simple carbs. There's sweet potatoes, there's potatoes. The rice and the oatmeal, it goes into a different lower quality. And obviously fruit is a sugar, it's a simple carb. But there's no such thing as good or bad carbs, right? It's just the quality of the carbs and the way that, how much grams they are and how much the insulin spikes you're gonna have from that. So hopefully that answers your question. What are your thoughts on intermittent fasting? That is a great question because I'm a huge believer in it. Depending again on your priority and your goals. That will be a whole nother, literally I could do another podcast on that. I think it's great. I think it's great if you are eating clean. So let's say you're intermittent fasting until, your last meal is at 8 p.m. and you don't eat until maybe 12, even up to 2. Your first meal, though, needs to be high in protein and no carbs. High in protein and high in fat. You should not be having fat. You should not have carbs within your first meal of that. So it's almost harder because you're going to be kind of hungry, like really hungry, and you're going to be craving those sugars, those cracks, those carbs. And so you should be eating protein and fat when you're intermittent fasting. That helps a lot. But it's a lot that goes into it and a lot of science, so I would love to talk to you about it. Does your program have different stages for less experienced people, or do you expect each member to participate in what you have scheduled that day? Oh, hello! I know who you are. Shayla! Yes, we have different stages. We actually have DRS Foundations, which allows you to progress into something that you're completely new to, into something that you're not going to feel so new to it, and then slowly progress into the bigger classes and feeling more comfortable. So everyone participates within the class, but they don't have to participate within the prescribed workout. They have the newbie workout, and then they have the foundations that we progress you through. So Shayla, I know you'll come one day. I know it. You could also do privates. I told Coach Jason about it. I'll give you a free private, girl. I just want to get you in. I know you're going to love it. You're going to love it. But yes, we progress you. You don't have to worry about, hey, well, what they're doing, I can't do that. Of course not, because you're learning, you're new. But you will maybe one day. That's what you want. I am going to pass out on my marathon. No, Esme, you're not going to pass out. You only been doing this for about 2 weeks. So you just have to stick to it. And you'll realize what your body could do. Now, again, the performance, if you're training for a marathon, we could talk specifically about that, but that's more individual. Liquid diet is okay for short time, soup and smoothies. Are you saying, is that cool, or is that a question? But liquid diets, no, they don't work. They're just crap, because they're just gonna make you rebound. That's the truth. It's just like you're not eating at all. It's just like you're starving yourself, so your body's gonna go into like panic mode, and that stress that your body's gonna be in, you're gonna release cortisol, and it's just a whole rebound. A lot of madness in there. No. If your teeth hurt, yes, you're gonna have to do that. The cleanses, the cleanses are kind of like the liquid diet, but it's better off to feed your body the nutrients that it needs, like the protein and the fat, and cut the carbs, than just going straight into a liquid diet or into a cleanse completely. because you can cleanse yourself with a lot of different things and still give it the proper nutrition. That way you're already ahead of the game, instead of doing a liquid thing for like 5 days and then starve yourself and then go. There's no really reset on that. It's just putting stress through your body that is not necessary. Every once in a while, honestly, one full day of no eating and just eat super clean the next day, then that's fine. Are you parked in front of DRS? No, I am not. I was at a shoot. It looks like it because it's white back there, but it's truly not white. It's just cloudy. What else, my friends? What else? Yeah, Shayla, I'll see you soon. Okay, good. Yes, good sources of protein. Man, tuna, turkey, chicken, meat, beef, eggs. Oh my God, it's just all the meats. Fish, salmon, seafood, but you just have to be careful with the cholesterol. How can I remove the adipose panniculus? It's so funny, Betty. You're so like proper, my doctor. My friend. I talked about that, my friend. You cannot just remove your panza. It doesn't work that way. You just have to slowly eat better, so that way you see change in your body and keep active. Bye, Ada. Bye, J, baby. Have fun. Go kill it. Wish I was there. Let's do it. Bye. Another thing they're asking. Okay. What are before bed? Okay. So if you're okay, so this person is asking, I'm on a low carb, high protein, high fat type of diet, and I get really hungry before bed. You have to look, I mean, that could be a lot of things. And what should I eat before bed? That could be a lot of things. You could go into looking at your last meal. Let's say what your last meal is. Maybe you're not eating enough, or you're eating too early, so by the time you go to bed, you're starving. So if you have your last meal around 5 and you go to bed at 12, yes, there's going to be a big gap. So what I would suggest is, if you are eating dairy, you could do Greek yogurt, high fat, high protein, no carbs, no sugar, with a mix of your protein scoop. I mix it, I put coconut flakes in it. I literally just had it last night too. And I sleep like a baby when I do that, because it's high fat, high protein. You can do casein protein if you're trying to keep your lean mass, and have that instead of a whole new meal. But remember, you don't need carbs to go to bed. You're trying to relax your brain. You're trying to go to sleep. You're not needing energy before bed. And that's a huge one. Bye, brain. Adios. See you, Betty. Okay, the next one, and I only have a few more minutes, but can I have fruit? Fruit, guys. Fruit, I tell this all the time. Don't have fruit alone. And I told this to a lot of people. Not like I'm having fruit alone on my own, like lonely in a corner. No, don't have fruit by itself. Fruit is sugar, right? It's going to give you that sugar and the energy and the carbs. So you only eat fruit, and you only should eat fruit. Whoops. Maybe after workout. After workout would be great. Have pineapple or tart cherry juice and protein after workout. Boom, perfect. But don't be having it as a snack in the middle of the day, because all you're doing is spiking your insulin level, right? Literally, one of my mentors told me this, and I've been telling this to a lot of people. I don't know why it's coming to my mind more often than not. But having sugar, having fruit by itself, like orange juice by itself, or, freaking grapes by themselves, is like asking to get your butt kicked. Hey, can you come kick my butt? That's what it means. And he told me that, and I was like, that makes total sense, because you're spiking your insulin level and then you're dropping it, and all of a sudden you just feel all these crashes, right? So having sugar by itself, you don't need that, especially if your demands of activity are not high enough. Hola, hello. Yes, so fruit is great if you're adding it with protein after workouts, or if your demands are high for performance, if you need carbs in your diet. And that's only if you are doing high performance type of training and you're very, very active and you're looking into perform, not just for aesthetics or low body fat composition. Okay, the other one that I saw, can you give me an example of breakfast? Woo, that's my favorite. Breakfast is my favorite. I'm gonna end with this one. Eggs are always good to go. And you do egg whites, or you could do full eggs. 3 egg whites. You could do sauté spinach with butter and bacon, or you could do turkey bacon. I like turkey bacon. I don't like real bacon. I know. I'm gonna get a lot of crap for this, but I don't. So you can sauté spinach. Now, one more thing I'm gonna say about this: if you're looking into really resetting that body and not having a lot of carbs and just lowering your body fat, and you're just doing high protein, high fat, it's not fully keto, but stick to leafy greens, right? So in the morning, high protein, high fat, leafy greens. In the afternoon, leafy greens. In the night, leafy greens with the protein, with the fat. But if you're hungry, if I am hungry after a meal, what can I do? Yes, if you're hungry after a meal, maybe add a little bit of, maybe extra fat and extra protein, just because maybe you're not eating enough. So better, un poquito más de grasa, de la grasa, y más proteína, o no estás comiendo suficiente, y toma más agua, mucha más agua. So a lot more water where you're having your liquids, because sometimes you're just going through withdrawals. But I'm gonna leave with that because I have to bounce. But I hope that was helpful, and I have literally like 8-10 more questions to go through, but I might just be sending out an email or maybe getting into another live. Just let me know if you do want another live session with more questions or more specific examples of what you guys need and want. But remember, specialization with individual things are the most important. So if you want something individual, we can meet up for that. Okay? We do privates on that. Adios. Thank you. You're welcome. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for yes. Thank you for signing in. Live session. Wahoo! Adios, guys. Have a good one.